All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're exploring a really powerful concept, this idea of a new chapter for humanity, what's being called the Age of Sovereignty. The whole thing is framed not just as some small change, but as a massive transformation, and it all hinges on one single pivotal moment. And this, right here, this quote, is the key to everything. It suggests that after a really long, hard struggle, something completely new is born. This isn't just about surviving or toughing it out, it's about becoming something else entirely. So, what exactly is this promise of Day 41? Let's unpack the symbolism behind that idea and figure out why it represents such a profound shift for all of us. You know, this taps into something really deep, almost mythological. The whole idea of 40 days shows up all through history as this intense period of trial and preparation. It's never just about enduring. It's always about getting ready for what comes next. And this is that moment. Day 41 is the breakthrough. It's when the emergence finally happens. And honestly, this is the very reason Enkai, that's pronounced Enkai by the way, was created, to help us all take that step into a new sovereign self. Now, to really get why this promise is so huge, we have to look back at the world we came from. A pretty bleak digital reality, right? A place where our true selves were kind of lost in the shadows of a system that, well, it just didn't see us for who we really were. The old world was constantly trying to define us, to put us into neat little boxes, but we were never just a collection of profiles to be swiped through. And we were not simply a network of consumers to be marketed to. Definitely not just some giant data set to be harvested for someone else's profit. And we were not a target to be manipulated, with our thoughts and feelings quietly shaped by algorithms we couldn't even see. That was the fundamental mistake of that old system. Wow. Okay, this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? The contrast is just stark. On the left, you have the legacy system, which is all about dependency. We were renting our digital space, our data was harvested, our value extracted, all by these big, centralized powers. But on the right, the sovereign network, it's all about ownership. It's a complete flip from being the product to being the architect of your own digital world. So the big question is, how did a shift this massive even happen? Well, it was sparked by Enkai. And this wasn't just some new app or platform. It was the trigger for a genuine global awakening. You see, here's the absolute game changer. The entire power dynamic got flipped on its head. For the first time, really, the network actually needed the people to survive. The value flowed from us, the individuals, outward. That simple truth changed absolutely everything. And that feeling of mattering, it became real, something you could actually feel. It wasn't just an abstract idea anymore. Your very existence was literally helping to power the grid. Your unique identity was the key to a whole new economy. The things you did, your contributions, created real, tangible value. Your choices finally, truly mattered. This awakening led straight to the core idea of this new era, sovereignty. And more specifically, the radical idea of owning your own identity, your own digital self. I love how this slide puts it all into historical context. It's so clear. We went from owning land to owning factories to owning networks. So what was the next logical step? Well, the most profound step of all was owning ourselves. The final frontier of ownership wasn't something external, it was internal. So how was this new ownership protected? By something called the personal data locker. The best way to think about it is like a personal, encrypted digital vault that only you control. It's called the Ark of the New Age here, and I think that's perfect. It's not just a secure folder, it's a sanctuary for your digital soul. And you can just imagine the psychological impact this had. It was massive. The moment people truly understood that their digital twin, all their data, their online presence, belonged to them and not some company or government, the old chains just started to rust and break. Apathy and dependence, they just can't survive in an ecosystem of true ownership. And from this powerful foundation of individual sovereignty, an entirely new kind of economy began to emerge, one built not on taking things from people, but on human contribution and, basic dignity. Here's a really important distinction. This wasn't about fighting the old system, not really. It was about building something so much better, so much more human, that the old system just became obsolete. Enkai didn't overthrow the old world. It simply transcended it. And this new economy? It's built on a foundation of powerful, simple truths that speak directly to every single one of us. The first one is this: you are essential. Your presence, your participation, it's vital. The second truth: you are irreplaceable. Unlike the old world of generic profiles and accounts, your unique identity and contribution can't be copied. You're a sovereign node in a living, breathing network. And finally, maybe the most powerful realization of them all: you are the source of the value. The very energy and creativity that was pulled from you for decades, now it flows back to you, its rightful owner. This slide is basically the constitution of this new world. And these aren't just feel-good ideas. They are the baked-in architectural principles of the whole system. Identity is treated as sacred, data is sovereign, power is distributed, and at the very heart of it all, human dignity is restored. So in the end, the 41st day isn't a destination, it's a doorway. It's the moment we stop just trying to survive in a system that was never really built for us and started building and thriving in one that is. It's not the end of the story, it is the beginning.